Folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower. My name's Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. What's happening?
And I am turning off my phone so it doesn't make noises this time.
AKA Sam Healey.
Well, welcome back. I'm glad that you're still watching after we did our top 10 games that murdered other games. The
Homicide Central.
But this time, much more mild topic. You have 6 people, and you want to play a game. So we're looking at.
Is dead.
That's the murder mystery game.
Oh, okay.
But you have 6 people and you want to play a game. What game should you play? Now, I personally, and I don't know if I disagree with Sam on this one or not. If there's 6 people, I would rather usually, not always, but usually play 2 3-player games, or a 4-player and a 2-player.
Depends on the group. Depends on the group of people.
Yeah, no, that's not
I
a
may
bad
want to
point.
break that group up if, yeah.
Well, if some of the players are going to be AP prone, then you might want to split up.
Yeah.
That could be the only thing I can think
of. Let them play a 15-minute game for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, that's okay. I could go either way. I think I'm okay with a 6-player game, and a 4 and a 2, or a 3 and a 3 is also great. I'm good either way. Yeah.
I actually found that as I was looking through games for this list, I found that there are basically almost 3 categories for games. There are filler 6-player games. Mm-hmm. You know, they're quick, fun, fast. Then there are the event type games that are just like, 6, 8 hour long, 4 to 8, really long games. And then there are some that are right in the middle that are 1 or 2 hour games that aren't really heavy, but they're not really fillers either.
I don't think there's many of those for 6 players.
Actually, there's a lot, actually.
Well, there's also the party games, obviously, which I mostly avoided, because party games...
They're their own category, though.
Yeah, and there's a glimmer of one on my list, just the one, yeah. 1 or maybe 2. People could argue for a second one. But, yeah, I really avoided most of that because, well, party games play 6+ typically.
So did you pick your list as in games that are best with 6 players, or if there's 6 players, these are the games you pick?
If there's 6, this is what I'm going for.
That's what I did.
Yes.
What did you do?
I did something probably a little bit off the reservation, but that's, that's
typical
me, so that's cool. I actually made 2 top 10 lists, and I won't make Tom post all the games that I had, but and then I took the top 5 from each list. The 2 lists that I had was top 10 6-player fillers. And then I also did top 10 event kind of games. That's kind of the ones that are really long, that you plan ahead of time. It's not one of those things where you just show up at a game event and say, hey, let's play this. No, a couple days before you say, hey, you want to play this game? We're going to do it this day, that type of thing. And so I did, and then I took the top 5 from both of those lists and put them into order.
So mathematical.
He's
so precise.
No.
Speaking of precise, I almost picked Power Grid for my 6-player list. But man, that game is long with 6 players. But it's, I don't know. Anyway, see how I snuck 11th game in there?
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Number 10.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10. And the top half of my list, the 10 through 6, are going to be the lightweight fillers.
LCR.
Yeah, no. You probably already
You can play it with 6.
divined that.
I snuck in at number 12. I see that.
My number 10 is a game that I like to pull out. It really works well with. I think it works well with 6. Some people might think it plays a little bit long with 6, but that's King of Tokyo. I will pull out King of Tokyo with 6, usually more often than not. As long as I have the right group of people there.
Sure.
This is the kind of game that you don't want to have.
I don't know, but you think it's long with 6? I mean, people get killed pretty quick.
No, it
quickly.
Can. That's the thing. It can go long with 6, especially with the power up expansion, because you got all those.
Okay,
things that will,
that's true with the power up expansion.
And I love playing with the power up expansions. It's just, I think it gives it more flavor. So it can go a little bit long, but usually it doesn't. People kind of die off pretty quick when there's 6
That's
people.
right. Yeah, there's more to death and destruction for sure.
Yeah. So my number 10 is King of Tokyo for 6 players.
My number 10 is Vabank. which is an older game. We talk about it every once in a while. It's the gambling game where you're moving your pieces around and you're putting money on different on casino tables, and then you go to these casino tables and you'll get that much money. But there's cards that players will place here, which could double the money, or they could steal the money from you. And you're basically just trying to guess where people put the stealing card, because that really matters. Silly fun. I don't know that I've ever played this not 6 players.
Right.
Because when I have 6 players and I need a game to fill, it just does. And I'm really surprised this game hasn't been reprinted, because I really like it. So, and it's a Leo Calavini half game, which is odd.
Yeah, it's him and I forget who else.
Faduti.
That's right, which is a very strange combination.
Well, you know what? I know it's like
part that they could possibly be. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll have to ask Mr. Faduti. He's going to be at Gen Con this year. So, anyway,
we will find out.
All right. So anyway, my number 10, Vabank.
My number 10 is Shadow Hunters, which is a game put up from Z-Man. It's a Japanese game in which you have secret identities and groups, and you're trying to figure out who's on your team and kill the other guys. It's a style of game I really like. That whole you don't know who's who, so figure it out and murder the other guys. Ooh, murdering. We're back on the
What? 2 lists in a row.
So that's my number 10, Shadow Hunters. Really neat 6-player game.
Yeah, I like it. I almost put it on my list, but then I thought, I think it goes up to 8, right?
I think it goes up to 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I normally think of that as an 8-player game or 7 or 8, you know.
No, I think it's great. It's quick. I love it.
All right.
Good stuff.
Number 9.
The next game, I'm not sure if Sam likes or not, but it's another game I like to bring out with 6 players, and that's Dragon's Gold. Dragon's Gold is a game of straight negotiating. In fact, I don't know that there's any other negotiation game like it, because you send your people in.
We'll get to it.
You send your people in. You send your people in, and you're killing dragons, and then you split the dragon's treasure, and you have a minute to make a deal to split it. And you have to split it right now. You can't put part of the treasure aside. You have to split the treasure. You can't make future deals. You can't make past deals. It has to be right here, right now. And if no one makes a deal, no one gets anything after 1 minute. And it can be pretty brutal and pretty frenzied, and I love it. It just has that sheer... There are times where I'll just be like, okay, let the timer run out.
Yes, strong arm, everybody.
And that's why I don't like the game. Because you can have that one guy that just sits back and say, "No, I don't want to."
Wait, did he just call me the one guy?
On that game, probably, because you
then you have to avoid the dragons he's at.
You
but
outed
I get what you're
yourself there,
saying.
man. I didn't say anything.
No, because if you did it every time, you would lose.
I understand.
I'm saying there are certain points where it's like you're not getting that. You're not getting another purple gem. Yeah. It's not happening. Okay, if I'll tank the whole thing. I like having that ability, but most people can't do it. Finally, they're like, okay, come on, all right, fine. Let's split it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Dragon's Gold, my number 9.
All right, my number 9 is a Cosmos game titled Around the World in 80 Days.
With 6?
With 6, yes. The game plays best actually with 5 or 6 because all the cards are assigned to specific powers at the bottom of the board, and only with 5 or 6 are all the powers basically available. If you play with fewer people than that, then some of the powers don't have a card placed there, meaning you can't take that card, meaning you can't trigger that power.
Is that big of a deal?
Well, it gives you the full flavor, And I really like it. The it's not too long, It's maybe a 75-minute game, And I really like it. I think it's underappreciated.
It really is. I haven't heard people talk about it.
I don't think it gets enough love, and I think it's a very well-designed Euro game. It goes down easy. It's fun. It's got really good artwork. It's just a neat 6-player game. Yes. It's kind of like Sam was saying, it's sort of that in-between game that there's not a lot of, it's not really long and it's not a filler, but if I was going to pick one of those to put on the list, this is a good one for 6.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that one. 6 seems like too many. It just seems a little too long for that game.
I like it. Have you played it, Sam?
It's his number 9.
I have played it, but I don't know that I've ever played it with 6.
Okay.
So I'll go with your word on it.
Cool. All right, so my number 9, Around the World in 80 Days.
He trusts you.
Of course. My number 9 is a game that I've talked a lot about. Just came out with a new reprinting of it, and haven't actually got to play the new reprinting of it, but it's a game called Fairy Tale. It's my card game filler category for Fairy Tale with 6. And, we've talked so much about it. It's a really cool drafting mechanic game where you are trying to gather the most points by getting combinations to work together between the different kinds of characters and their dragons and all this other kind of stuff. I haven't seen the new reprint, so I don't know how much of it is exactly the same, but the older version, which is the version that I own, really enjoy playing it. I take it, usually, it's so small it fits my pocket, and I can pull it out with just about anybody. It's really easy to teach, and people usually come away liking it. So that's my number 9, Fairy Tale.
I played the new version last night, and I really...
Every time I don't go, he plays old games.
So, well, technically it was a new version, but yeah, I know. And I'm telling you, they just tweaked a few cards. There's a couple cards that let you draw cards now, which is a cool idea.
Okay.
They just tweaked a few cards and added a couple wild cards in there. But yeah, I love Fairy Tale. Cool. It's a great... Drafting is just fun.
Yes, it is.
And Fairy Tale's drafting at its most base.
I don't think I've ever played with 6, though. I keep thinking about it in my head. I think the most I've played with is 4. How many does it play? 6 is the top?
Yes.
Oh, well,
2.
I don't know that I've ever played 6 either.
Pretty sure it plays 2 to 6.
But 2? I wouldn't play that with 2.
Maybe
Here.
3 to 6?
Maybe
Yeah,
3 to
I
6.
played it with 3. 3 is great. Okay,
Cool.
moving on.
All right, my number 8 is a game I'm sure will show up, or I'm fairly certain will show up on somebody else's list a little later, and that is Cash and Guns. Cash and Guns is a quick bluffing... I kind of want to call it a card game, sort of a party game.
You're bringing murder back in again.
Right, I know. This
Man!
looks very mean. In which you are, as I'm sure you probably are aware of, you are picking a card, which might be a bluff or might be the real thing, and pointing at someone and saying, am I lying to you or not? Decide, duck out of the way if you think I'm not lying, or stay there, and you might be able to split part of this pot, unless I wasn't bluffing and you're shot now. I really like it. I think it's quick. It plays in about 35 minutes, something like that, even with 6. And it just brings out a fun atmosphere in a crowd. It works for me for that reason, and 6 is the perfect amount, I think I've always played 6, unless you add the expansion, which takes it up to 9, and it's okay. But 6 is the way to go. So my number 8 is Cash and Guns.
That was on the bottom half of my lightweight fillers. Didn't actually make the cut for these 10 games.
So you're in your top 20.
Yeah, it's my top 20.
Right.
All right.
Cool.
All right, my number 8 is a game that, again, just got another reprint, a long-awaited reprint, and I believe it's already sold out again. Jamaica. Ryan, you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's calling out Ryan.
I'm sorry.
Swinging.
Ryan, you're wrong. I know it's not your type of game, but you're just wrong, pal. I'm sorry. Thank you for Numenera, though. I appreciate that. Jamaica is a game that is incredibly light, incredibly easy to teach, fun to play. It's an exquisitely beautiful game. It is a complete eye-catcher, and it's a game that I love pulling out. Ryan did have one thing right that just
The rules?
blows my mind. The rule book is just a stupid...
I think all companies should make their rule book that you have to unfold like a giant
Poster.
map.
Hey, the rule book's the poster.
Yeah, the rule book's a poster. It's a treasure map. See, that's the... No.
It was cool looking.
It was okay. It had a novelty to it. But
Except when you have to look something up.
when you want to go back and look something up, you can't remember it. It's like you're using the state map.
It's like Dad back in the days when you're driving. He's like, unfolding the
You
map.
can ask for directions. No, I can't figure this out.
So basically, Jamaica, if you haven't heard about it before, you probably have, because we talked the mess out of it. Jamaica is a game where you're racing around the island of Jamaica, and you're all pirates in your own ships, and you're having to manage your gold intake and your food intake, and for your ship's cargo at least, not actual eating.
This gold is delicious.
It's a dieting game.
Cannon powder intake, so that
dangerous.
and you have so many number to hold. You have to balance all that. Gold's worth points at the end of the game, then, and all this other kind of stuff. It's a really cool, easy game to play. and it fits 6 actually really well.
You sounded kind of defensive there, like
Well, no,
you're
it's
afraid
just-
Ryan's gonna like show up and out of the table. Whoa.
I like Ryan, don't get me wrong, but I don't care what he has to say about Jamaica. But the idea with Jamaica, I think the reason that it carries well with 6 players is because of the dynamic of the game, where one person rolls the dice, then you all pick your thing, and then when you're done picking, boom, you go around, you do it. There's not a whole lot of downtime with Jamaica, and that's why I think it works really well with 6 players. You're all involved most of the time. So that's my number 8, Jamaica.
All right.
I think I disagree slightly because I think with 6 you fight too often.
No, that's one of the cool.
And
coolest
again,
things
it's
about
just
the
I
game.
think it's too often. I think 4, 5, you have enough fights to give you a good fight flavor, but it doesn't happen on everybody's turn. And with 6, it kind of does that. So
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Apparently, my memory's really bad. I made this list today, and I just told you that this game didn't make my list, but apparently it did.
oh man,
So my number 8 is Shadowhunters.
Wow.
oh man! After I talked about it,
I originally wasn't going to put it on the list, and I remember now that I did put it on because I thought it did work really well with 6 players. I do like playing a lot with the expansion, though. The expansion adds just 8 cards, maybe 8 different rolls. But if you mix them up randomly, you're not sure who's what, and that's a little bit cooler, I think.
I agree. It comes included now, though.
Oh, does it?
If you buy the game now, it's in there. So
Oh, okay. Which was good because they were charging like $1 a card
yeah.
for those things. So anyway, as I now have remembered, my number 8 is Shadowhunters.
Number 7.
My number 7 is a game which was previously mentioned, but not because it was in anyone's list. How about that? My number 7 is Power Grid.
Really?
Wow.
Yes, Power
It's a heavy Euro.
Yeah,
It takes like 3 hours with 6 players.
yeah, it takes like 2.5, but
But doesn't he hate long games?
With 6 players, 2.5 hours.
yeah, like 2.5 hours. Yeah,
But I thought you didn't like
play
games
with
that long.
really slow people.
I
apparently.
guess.
He plays with you.
Not Power Grid.
I've never played Power Grid with him.
Yeah, I like Power Grid. And the reason I like it best with 6 is because you don't have to cut off a chunk of the map, which is one of my most hated things in games.
I can understand that.
If it's like a double map and the other side is like 3-4, I'm great with that. But when it's a map,
That just bothers you that
it
part of the
really
map
does.
is not there?
Because I'm always going, I can sneak in there. Oh wait, that whole section's out of play.
Yeah.
And you can't cover it up, you know.
I remember when we used to play Power Grid.
Oh, you played a Power Grid, and he had this whole plan, and then he realized he couldn't go in that section.
Exactly. So with 6, the resources are tight, the market is tight, and the map is open. That's why I think it's best with 6. Yes, I'm not going to pull this game out all the time. It takes the right crowd. It takes the, I got to want to
I like
play.
it with 6, but I'm just surprised you do.
I like it. I have my copy. I do like Power Grid. But yeah, I don't play it I'm not going to play it every weekend, but when I want to play a meaty 6-player game, Power Grid is it. So
Alright.
that's my number 7, Power Grid.
My number 7, I thought I would stay with the theme of 7 and pick 7 Wonders.
Okay.
No, look. Okay,
game. No,
we give 7 Wonders garbage because Sam says it copies Fairy Tale, and then we all said it was replaced by, or I said it was replaced by Among the Stars. But 7 Wonders is still a pretty cool game. Now, I had this dilemma this morning. I was looking at cool stuff, and they have a 7 Wonders player mat.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. A player mat's $15. And then I thought, wait a minute. I have to buy 7 of these mats.
The player mat thing that they're selling is not actually a player mat. It's a central board that holds all the stuff.
Oh.
So you just need one.
Because I was sitting there thinking
I mean-
$105 for...
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, really? It's just swords. It holds the pile of money like on a spot that says, put the money here. And I'm like, I can figure that out. So I'll keep my $15. But that's what it is. It's a single one per
Now, you could argue successfully that 7 Wonders never goes above 3 players because you're only really interacting with the 2 people next to you. And that's somewhat true.
Right.
But you're still watching what everyone does, and I think the newest expansion added a little bit more of that in. So I like it. It's good, and you know what? If you have 7 players, it works really well. You can teach it, you can play it, and it feels a little meatier than it really is.
Right.
To clarify, I don't think that Seven Wonders copied Fairy Tale.
You're saying it wasn't innovative.
It was not innovative,
Yes.
like everybody wanted to say it was. That's all.
I didn't say it was innovative.
That's all I ever said.
Okay.
Okay, my number 7 is
Seven Wonders.
game called The Resistance. And it's a game that I play with 6 all the time because I play with my youth group fairly commonly. I would say at least once a month we play The Resistance at youth group. And we usually have about 6 at the beginning, a couple maybe straggle in a little bit later. But The Resistance, I think, plays well with as many as you can. I'm usually playing it with 6. I think it goes up to
10.
10. I thought 8, but okay, 10. But The Resistance is one of those games I said earlier that it murdered Werewolf for me. I have no reason to play Werewolf anymore. It's the same kind of game where you're trying to figure out who's who to trust, who not to trust. And I think the theme of it, I guess that's the best. The theme of it really is what pulls it together. Much better for me.
You're fighting in Walmart.
Fighting in Walmart?
That's what I always say. You fight an evil corporation in the future, so I pick what corporation. Sometimes it's Disney, sometimes it's Walmart.
Why would it ever be Walmart?
They're a big evil corporation. I don't know.
Because they have more money than Mexico.
Apple.
No, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They're
I'm
watching us!
Pointing at the 3 screens behind the camera.
Hi, big brother.
Yep.
all
So
right.
anyway, my number 7, The Resistance.
I actually thought about Resistance, but then I realized I like it much, much more with 8. Just a few extra players makes it for me, but it works well with 6.
Yeah.
Number 6.
All right. Well, I'm going to just say this one real quickly because I'm guessing it will show up on another person's list, probably Zee's.
Caverna.
No, yeah, I got Caverna.
No.
Although, when I was doing a search of board game, Caverna was the first thing to pop up, and I was like, no. I like Caverna, but not with 6.
Yeah.
No, my number
Save that one
6.
for the 7-player list.
My number 6 is Twilight Imperium 3. And I put Twilight Imperium 3 with 6
It's going
because
to be on your list, he said.
Right. Sure, Sammy.
I'm feeling it.
Twilight Imperium 3 is a very epic space game, and Sam thinks I don't give it enough love. And,
don't.
And we don't play it enough.
You don't.
But there's a game that's being scheduled for Dice Tower Con. I was surprised you didn't sign up for that.
I
But
didn't know it was being scheduled.
But I'm sure there'll be... Just push a guy aside. I'm in. But anyhow, Twilight Imperium with the expansions could go up to 8. And it could be played even down to 3. But you can play with 4. 4 is okay. But to me, 6 brings out that perfect dynamic of... I have to deal with everybody at the table. You know, you're kind of in everyone's face, especially when if you strategically place the wormholes, you're kind of next to everybody. I really like it. It's a very interactive game. So my number 6, Twilight Imperium 3.
Yep. Cool. Good. My turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 6 is a game that we, and again, remember that...
This is the last of your light
this
games.
is the last of my light games. These have all been
From here
light
on
games.
out, TI3. TI3.
Well,
TI1,
say
TI2, TI3. He's a little bit older.
Bang the Dice game is a game that we've talked a lot about. I'm not going to belabor it very much more here, but it's just a really quick, fast game. Usually, I don't think I've ever played it where I didn't play it immediately again. Right after that one time.
Probably true.
Because it's so quick.
Sometimes it's because it's so quick and people are like, I didn't really get to do anything.
Yeah, there's one guy like, I got killed, I'm playing again.
Right, exactly. So, but the thing about that is you have one guy that demands to play again and everybody's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And so that speaks a lot to a game's, I don't want to say replayability, but I think that the game's fun factor. When everybody at the table, especially when you're talking about 6, 8 people, they all want to play the game again immediately. That talks a lot about the game's fun factor and how much enjoyment you can get out of it. So my number 6, definitely number 1 for my lightweight fillers, Bang the Dice game.
All right, cool. My number 6 has been mentioned.
Wow. A lot of overlap here today.
So that's The Resistance. The Resistance with 6 is a great game, and I actually do think I like it with the smaller groups versus you were talking about, 8, 10.
Full complement.
Because
It's more personal, more intense.
it's as far as you can get from Werewolf. And if I want to play Werewolf, and then if you want like the really massive group experience, then you kind of have to go with that. But that's exactly what I like about the Resistance. Not that I think, like Sam says, that that Werewolf has no place in gaming anymore. I think that's not the case.
That's
right. But that's why
It's
I
also
like the
a lie.
Resistance in the opposite sense. I like that it's a small group. I like that I can look at all other 5 people and figure out which one I'm lying to.
That's true. Who's one of the conspirators? Zee.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's my number 6, the Resistance. Great at 6.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5. Now we're moving into the heavier, more event.
4+ hours.
I wouldn't go that far. Again, there are
3+
There are
hours.
probably a couple of games on here that you can squeeze in with about 2 to 3 hours. But most of them, they're probably going to go long, especially if you have any type of role playing. If you have fun with the game instead of just, okay, go. That kind of runs me ragged sometimes on the longer games. I'd rather enjoy the game experience.
I was thinking I'm the only guy who does that.
Sometimes that can, with games like TA3, which you mentioned already, I'm not saying it's on my list, but like TA3,
Just tell us your number is 5.
It's
Anyway,
Battlestar Galactica.
my number 5 is Level 7 Omega Protocol. Level 7 Omega Protocol.
See, now this one I disagree with because we played with 6,
Yeah.
and I thought it was too many.
That was rough.
It was long.
That was during the 24-hour marathon.
Yeah,
Which I
but
was
we were
perfectly awake for.
Yeah, right.
no, we were feeling pretty strong at that point in the game. I liked it much more when we played with 4.
I don't think it's a I can see that.
That's what I'm saying. I felt 6 was just a one player too many. But you said you don't care because you like the experience.
It's the experience. It's the overall. This is an event game. I don't think. I also don't think it's good for a live recording setting because.
Well, yes.
There is
Well, I
a lot
learned
of
that.
downtime.
Okay.
And
okay.
so. I think there's more factors that played into the because we had. I remember.
You can just
sitting there,
say it, man. Jason,
I remember.
just say it.
What?
Just say Jay. Just say, hey, Jason.
No,
Jason.
I'm not saying Jason. What I'm saying is that I remember us sitting there thinking, "Wow, this is not fun to watch."
With Jason.
He wasn't playing even.
Oh,
He wasn't
he
even
permeated
playing.
my 24 hours, the whole thing.
I think there were a lot more factors that played into us not enjoying that 6-player version of it than just the fact that it was 6 players. I think there was a lot more else.
Okay. Well, we're getting way off
Anyway.
the target here. Let's go. Hurry up.
Number 5, Level 7 Omega Protocol.
All right.
All right, that's me. Okay, my number 5 is in the 1 hour plus category.
Ooh.
No.
So it's a long one for you.
This is a very, very long game. King of Tokyo, which has been mentioned by
Hey.
Sam.
Hold the phone. My number 5, also King of Tokyo.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Woohoo! Tie on the
Let's
numbers.
put this together then. I think at 6 I would play without the power up expansion because I think it does speed it up a little bit. I don't know if you would agree with that, but
I played with 6 with the power up, and I thought it was a little lengthy, maybe.
so I would remove that, especially if you're teaching somebody
First
new.
time, once people knew what they were doing, I could throw it back in.
And it's great. It's just if somebody is sitting in Tokyo, there's so much carnage when they attack.
Oh,
They're hitting
yeah.
everybody else, and there's lots of cards cycling through because you only get to pick from those 3 that are out there. But if 6 people are buying up cards, you get to see a lot of stuff. So I just think it works. It's a great
It makes it harder to stay in Tokyo, too.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to stay in here.
Yeah, anyway.
3 guys hit you. You're like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's a great dice game, great 6-player game.
Yeah.
So the first of probably more than one game that's on all 3 of our lists, King of Tokyo.
Yep.
Number 4.
My number 4 is a cooperative game. Probably one of the first cooperative games that we ever really enjoyed. And one of the first, not the first.
Well, that can only be one then.
Shadows over Camelot. Shadows over Camelot. And, I've almost, not completely, but I almost feel like a hypocrite. Because the last few times we've gone to gaming events, they've been playing Shadows over Camelot.
Right, they have. That's true.
Like the last time at the tabletop day.
Right.
They were playing Shadows, and I was like, you know what? I want to play.
Wait, I have a question though. Was Jason in that group?
I don't think so.
What is with you tonight?
Messing with
Had nothing to do with Jason, but I was trying to play. I was trying to. I don't know. Just be.
You're saying you passed down an offer?
Yeah, I passed.
Wow.
I could have gotten into Shadows, but I passed on it, and it wasn't because I didn't want to play the game. I just wanted to. It is a little bit of a longer game, especially when you get the higher contingent of players, and so there's a higher. And I wanted to stay away from the longer games that day. That's the only reason why. But if you're planning a long game event, this is one of the ones I'd pull out. It just really the theme, cracking the Monty Python jokes, all of that kind of stuff. It just really it's such an enjoyable experience whenever I play Shadow.
I don't know that I've ever played that game where someone didn't do a Monty Python joke. I don't think so.
It has to happen.
All right.
It's in the rules somewhere.
Nobody expects them though, but they happen.
Yes, they happen.
Sorry.
All right, number 4 for me is would be on the latter end of Sam's list, and that's For Sale. For Sale is just that quintessential 6-player game. I got 6 people, and this is what you said earlier about that filler. Oh, it made your top 10. Top 10 of your lower 5. Okay. But For Sale it just works so well with 6 players. Now I like it because it works well with 5 and 4 and all that. Yeah, but with 6 players, I bring it out. We run through it, quick auction, blah blah blah. You win some cards, you play it, and it's done. And then the 7th guy shows up, and you're like, okay, now 3-player game, 4-player game.
Yep.
It's always that 6. It's the game to play while you're waiting for other people.
Yep.
The filler game. And so For Sale.
Yep. And I would say probably 6 months ago, this would have made the list.
You tired of playing it?
No, I'm not tired of playing it. It's just that there's so many other games that are filler type games that I enjoy playing more than For Sale now. But I still enjoy For Sale. It's a very cool game.
So for my number 4, For Sale.
Hey.
I see what you're doing.
No, I didn't do that on
This is all
purpose.
he does. 7 wonders. 6 people
6 Nimitz.
playing Yahtzee.
6
people playing Yahtzee.
That's all he's going for.
Your thing fell apart like really fast
I think
there.
it was 6 people playing Yahtzee was a purposeful choice. Number 4 for me is the game I was talking about when I said there was another good negotiation game. This is kind of my choice for a good negotiation game. I'm the Boss.
Oh yeah! Wow, I didn't even think about that one. That is a good
Boss
6-player
plays
game.
Best with 6 because everybody starts with a single person they control. If you get below that, then it gets weird. Somebody, 3, you're okay again because everybody controls 2. But if you work with any other group, any other amount, and some of them start in the center of the board and no one controls them, it's weird. With 6, it's perfect. You got 6 people to negotiate with. Well, 5, and it's just light and chaotic and quick, and you're shouting at each other and going, I'll take that much. If you use my guy, I'll take that much money. And somebody's like, you're not going to do that. Bam. They play a card and you're out of there, and they play their own guy. And it's just a great, wild, it's almost like the economic party game, in my opinion. I really like it. I get a kick out of it every time I play it. So that's my choice for a good negotiation game that plays 6. I'm the Boss. My number 4.
It's a good choice.
All right.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is a game that I enjoy with 6, even though it's an older game. I think it's 20 years old now at this point. And I think this game frustrates Sam. Robo Rally. I really like Robo Rally with 6 players on 1 or maybe 2 boards, crisscrossing over lots of danger and destruction. Lots of... You guys both hate Robo
Power
Rally?
grid being long.
Yeah.
2 boards, 6 players.
No.
Good night.
Even though you play on 2 boards, you play on the area of 1 board. It's just that you play on 2 boards, so there's some variety amongst how you're going in that area. Okay, don't listen to these 2 sad sacks. Listen.
I haven't said anything.
You're just emanating... You don't like...
Sad sackness.
Do you like Robo Rally?
No.
Well, then that's what I'm
But I
saying.
haven't said anything.
I'm feeling it.
You're like, don't listen to these two socks.
The temperature dropped while I was saying that. Okay, anyway, Robo Rally is a really entertaining game. You have to get into the mood, and I love programming stuff. I love seeing programming get messed up. And that's,
why would you enjoy watching programs get messed up?
I don't know why.
It's so infuriating.
This is the same thing as Galaxy Trucker. It's the same exact feel. And see, the table. Think of the table.
Vomit.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks. Now listen. I've lost my train of thought. I'm covered in vomit.
Okay. Robo Rally's a good game with 6. Play on 2 boards, even though they act like one board and they crisscross. So people run into each other. And
really, if you play, but I do like that a lot, and I think that you have to try to outsmart the other people, move around them. And I played many 6-player games that have lasted 90 minutes or so, and I like that. It's fun. It's an excellent game.
You can't outsmart people and move around them because half the time they don't know what they're doing. And they go off on this wild tangent of a path. And
You've had a lot of bad experiences with this game. Show me where the game.
Whoa!
Okay.
Is it me?
What's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is the one party game, the one real. I mean, you can call Cash and Guns a party game, but the one real party game on the list here, and that's compatibility. Compatibility is it's a game in which you have a deck of cards with images, words, colors, abstract stuff, and you flip over a keyword which says
happiness.
Happiness, sure, and you pick the 5 cards that most represent that for you, and so does your partner. It's a partnership game, and so you can play with 3 teams of 2, and it's a great couples game. It's a great getting to know somebody else kind of game, and I really like it. I think it's one of the more sort of subdued and relaxed party games, but it lets you sit there and go,
It's subdued and relaxed until you're like, how could you not pick the American flag for this category?
Because you're angry.
No, are you kidding? I've seen a lot of people yelling compatibility.
I haven't had that problem. People are like, oh, okay.
How many married couples have you played this game with?
I've played, not married couples, I've played with couples. Maybe that's the difference, right? Should have never met.
Okay, I wasn't taking it that far.
No. I've had great experiences, and I've played with several couples, and it's always gone over really well. I think it's a great game.
The good news for you guys who are watching is you can probably find it for like $1 at a thrift store. It shows up in thrift stores every once in a while for $1.
Man,
it's a blue box, so keep an eye out for a blue box.
And it has the word compatibility on it.
Okay, I'm just telling them to recognize it from a distance, okay? I know it has the word compatibility on it.
It's great. I love it. Number 3, compatibility.
All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is probably going to catch a lot of flack because it's probably not the game that you want to pull out with 6 players. However, again, remember that this part of my list is the heavier event type 6-player games. And I could really see building a day event around a 6-player game of Eldritch Horror. I really can. I will not play a 6-player game of Arkham Horror, especially with all the expansions, because that's just too much junk to wade through right now. But right now, Eldritch Horror, I think, is one at the point. Now, there's probably going to be expansions coming out to where it's going to get too big for its britches again. But right now, I think Eldritch Horror would be a game that I would enjoy.
Well, we have actually played a 6-player game of Eldritch Horror.
Okay, you don't count because you don't like long games.
20 minutes in. This is too long.
I'm still reading the rules, Z.
Well, let's go already.
But I could really see myself chomping into a 6-player session of Eldritch Horror. Just schedule it for a day event and maybe throw a couple of the fillers in there, but have that be the showcase. I think it really would shine that way.
I can see him liking that too.
Oh, yeah. No, but it's like you said, it's got that flavor, the storytelling.
Yeah.
You get into it.
Yeah.
It's like watching a long movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Number 2.
All right, my number 2 has been mentioned before. And I remember where it was.
Eldritch
It
Horror.
was Tom's number 7 because it's 7 wonders.
Really? Huzzah!
7 wonders with 6. It's quick. You don't add any time with more players, which I think is one of the best things it does.
No, it adds more time when you score at the end.
Well, come on.
Okay, I'm being dumb. Sorry. Continue.
You again interact with really just the people around you. So yes, that's true. But there are more cards in the game that you get to see that you don't get to see with fewer players. And I just think it's a great 6-player game. You get to see everybody's little wonder build up. You get to see their displays. It just works for me, and I really like drafting, which I know you guys like as well. And this is really the only one. I didn't actually know that Fairy Tale went up to 6, but I still would have picked 7 Wonders. I just like the flavor a little more in 7 Wonders. So that's my number 2. Nothing else to say about that because you've heard of it. 7 Wonders.
I've been just sitting here trying to figure out what Sam's number 2 is. Go ahead. I don't know.
My number 2? We're already on number 2?
We are.
Yes, sir.
We did a little breaky thing, huh? Okay. My number 2. BSG. Battlestar Galactica.
I like it better with 5.
Another co-op game. And again, it's one of those event type games to where you have to just sit there and sink your teeth into it. And
Just sit there and take it.
I think that we've talked so much about it in the past. I'm going to rely upon some of that, but basically it is based around the TV series Battlestar Galactica, the newer version of the TV series, not the 70s version.
No one watching remembers the old version anymore anyway.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so corny.
That's one of the things.
Oh, okay,
really good.
sorry, we're getting off topic.
Anyway, Battlestar Galactica is just no. Please don't listen to this guy. Anyway, especially about TV shows. Battlestar Galactica is a game that. Gotcha.
I don't like my Okay.
It mirrors the TV show. You're so distracting right now.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, shut up. This is my number 2, Battlestar Galactica. Go check it out on Board Game.
I wasn't trying to mess you up there.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. That's a good choice. I like it better with 5. That's all. My number 2, Z already said, Catching Guns. Works great with the full complement of 6. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever played it with less than 6.
Right.
And the expansion lets you go over 6, but in a different way. It's almost a different game because you're playing teams.
It changes the game radically, and I didn't.
I don't dislike the expansion.
No, but it wasn't one of those expansions that you play and then go, ooh, I'll never go back. No, they feel radically kind of, they feel different.
Yeah, 6 is good though. Catching Guns, easy enough.
And finally, number 1.
All right. Here we go. 6.
Whoa. 3.
Oh.
Okay, go.
I equal you both. I'm gonna go first because this is probably the least apprehensive top 1 in a long time of all 3 of us. Yes. So my number 1 is Cosmic Encounter.
Shocking!
Oh, pot, kettle, black. Okay, anyhow, the Cosmic Encounter, I like it with 4, I like it with 5, I like it with 7, but 6 is the best, by far. 6 is the best way to play it because I'm going up against you, and now there are 4 people I can ask to be my allies, and I like that a lot. Right. So it works well with 6. Your turn. Some people complain, I didn't get a turn yet, it's taking a long time to get a turn, but in Cosmic you're involved in every player's turn, and if you're not, it's your own fault, because you should be sitting there going, let me help. I mean, unless you're one of those guys no one wants to help, and then you pick that power anyway. So anyway, I love Cosmic Encounter, easy number 1 choice for me. Sorry, don't mean to put on so many lists, but it's the 6-player game.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, who's next?
Z is.
Yeah, go ahead, because I
Okay, my number 1, Lice Shower. No. No, my number 1 is also Cosmic Encounter.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, this is not going to be a whole lot of shock in here, is there, Sammy? Same thing Tom said. It's just
I'm about to drop a
works
bomb on
best.
you guys.
Whoa! Works best with 6. I can't wait to get to this. You know what I think about it. Let's tune in. What do you?
You know, I haven't played Cosmic in a while, so I need to get a game of that out. All right, go ahead.
Just saying, my number one. I don't know why you thought Twilight Imperium 3.
Because it's your number one.
It's my number one game, yeah, but I like playing it with more than 6. Why would I play this with 6 players? If I'm going to commandeer a whole day...
Here it comes.
You're lying. You are lying.
I can't hold it. Yeah. If I'm going to take a whole day to play a 6-hour game, it's gonna be Twilight.
He made me have doubt, though. I was like, what? Maybe he didn't.
Not me, baby. You ain't got nothing on the line,
Yeah,
King.
no, I mean, usually if somebody
I'm
says
lying.
Twilight Imperium 3, I'm running with bells on, to be honest with you. As long as I can work it in, I do have a family and I do have other responsibilities, so, you know, finding the time to play Twilight 3 is probably the one obstacle that I have to playing that, but it's still by far my favorite game out of all of them. I really enjoy the epic space opera that Twilight Imperium 3 encompasses, and it does it in a very people say it's convoluted, but I think for what it is, Twilight Imperium 3 is one of the more streamlined games that's there. I mean, it really handles that space opera well, and the experience is just unforgettable.
I still think one of these years you're going to come out with Twilight Imperium 4.
You said this year.
I know.
You
I
said this
know.
year,
I know.
Mr. Wrongness. But yeah, they just did a reprint of it. So
Yeah, you're right.
why
So
would
probably
they-
not. Who knows?
Why would they do it again? That's my number one. Shocker. Twilight Imperium 3.
And that's our top 10 6-player games. Now, guys, see, I'm still not. I still like splitting into 2 groups. I mean, sometimes I want to play 6 players. I've been in groups before where people always wanted to play everything together.
Right.
And like we'll play a 6-player game, and then let's play another 6-player game, and I feel bad because I have all these great 4 and 5-player games or 3, and it's like, I want to play these. I think that adding a 6-player is really hard sometimes.
Well, I think it's nice to be able to play with everyone, especially if it's something of a filler-ish kind of game, an hour or less. And then once you've sort of spent some time with everybody, it's like, seeing old friends, then break up and get some other games going. But
That's why
it is hard to have a good 6-player game, so, hopefully you got some out of this discussion, and B, short ones, So yeah,
that's kind of why I went the route that I did, making the 2 lists and then using only the top 5 from both of them, because I really do think that you have to split those up. You have really good 6-player games that are just fillers, and you have really good 6-player games that are, the meatier, heavier, take a long time.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what other 6-player games that you had on your heavy list. Was Warrior Knights one of them?
No, it wasn't, but that would fit.
Was Dust one of them? Not Dust Tactics, Dust.
Again, I'm not talking, when I say heavy, I'm not talking about complexity. I'm talking about time to play. Formula D was one of them.
Okay.
Because that
I
takes
can
a long
see that.
time to play, especially if you, like some people, make you play 2 laps.
One more time.
Cosmic Encounter was on my heavier event type games because it does play a little bit longer. It can go a little bit long if that happens. Last Night on Earth was one of the 6-player, and really that didn't.
You're like managing to stick that on a lot of lists these days.
Yeah, I know, because I like it.
Games least about zombies. Last Night on Earth.
On the lighter fillers, games like Gemblo, Say Anything.
Ooh, Gemblo's a good one. I didn't even think about Gemblo.
For Sale, and Libertalia were on my lighter.
Libertalia was really close to making my top 10.
I like it with less than 6.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought about it though. All right. Anyway, folks, until next time, we don't even know what top 10 list we're doing next, but we'll be back with one. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Have a good one.
Top 10 list of games.
Sad sackness.
Sad sackness.
Moving
And
on.
I'm Sam Healey.